And hi, everybody, and welcome to the Bob Show here on KYCA. We're really glad you tuned in today. I have no announcements about anything going on or anything, so we're going to get right into it because we have Chief Amy Bonney with us today in the studio, and she's sitting right across the table from me. So, we had I wanted to start by just making a quick comment about Mark McLean, and most of you probably didn't get a chance to meet him, but he was worked for the Prescott Police Department for a period of time.
Yes.
And he was a unique individual, and he recently passed away, and we were both at his memorial service on Saturday, and he's still on my mind. And just wanted to say that, you run into certain people in your lifetime that have an effect on you that you can't really explain or describe.
Definitely.
And Mark was one of those people, and I just wanted to say, and I know it's probably still on your mind too, that he was a special person.
He was, and when I got the news, he'd been struggling for a little bit with some things, but he was always himself. And when I got the news a couple weeks ago that he was down in the hospital, and then eventually that he had passed away, it just hit me like a ton of bricks.
I know, me too.
He's one of those men in my career. I've had so many people surround me in my career that have supported and encouraged me, and he's definitely at the top of that list.
Yep.
And, in police service and fire service as well, we give people nicknames, and so his nickname was the Crow.
Yeah.
And so I've known him for 30 plus years as the Crow. And he was just a genuine man, a kind man, a man of a servant's heart for the people and for our community, and certainly for the law enforcement profession. And he will leave a huge hole in this community and in the fabric of our community. And we will miss him very much, but we'll continue to honor his legacy. That's for sure.
Well, he showed up for the golf tournament that Silent Witness put on about 2 weeks before he died.
Right.
And at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
And some of us get there early because there's certain things we have to do. Well, here's Mark.
Yeah.
And that's who he was.
Always.
And totally dependable and great guy. I just wanted to make a comment about him. So anyway, it's wonderful to have you.
Thank you.
Our phone number here is area code 928-541-1016. If you have a question for the police chief, you can certainly give us a call. And Prescott Police Chief Amy Bonney, I want you to start. I often think about people who haven't been in our community very long, like maybe a month or two or whatever, and they're listening to KYCA, which is a lot of the local news on this radio station. And I want you to just explain a little bit, and don't hedge, because I've got evidence right here about all the things.
I saw that on the table. He has my bio.
All the things that's right, all the things that you've done, and I want the people who don't know who you are to know your qualifications for being the Prescott Police Chief, because you more than qualify for the position, and we are so happy you're here. And everything I read is that I love Prescott. Our family feels the same way. We wouldn't leave here for any reason at all. Many jobs just to stay.
Yeah.
So I know that feeling. So tell us who you are and give us your bio.
All right. Well, I hate talking about myself.
I know.
But,
that's why I'm setting
that's why you're
you
gonna
up.
make me do it. So one of the things that I love to tell people is that I was born and raised here in Prescott. I was born at the Prescott Community Hospital, which was pretty much brand new when I was born there. I'll just say very, very close to 50 years ago. And I went to Prescott through the Prescott Unified School District. I'm a proud graduate of Prescott High School. And I went to NAU and studied criminal justice, and knew I wanted to be a police officer. And I knew if I was going to do it, I didn't want to do it anywhere but here in Prescott. And so I'm so fortunate I was hired by the Prescott Police Department in 1998 and have been serving there ever since then, so just over 27 years. I was selected as the chief in 2021. And
I remember.
Have been serving in that position proudly right alongside the amazing men and women of that police department ever since.
How many people are in the police department?
So we have an authorized strength of 99 sworn police officers, plus we've got some professional staff, so about 140 with our our professional staff, and our Prescott Regional Communication Center, which is also something I'm very, very proud of.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can talk about that
Yeah.
too.
The I call it you're talking about the combining the 911 calls in a specific location.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Prescott Regional Communications Center dispatches for 16 police and fire agencies and two ambulance companies here on this half of Yavapai County, and cover hundreds of square miles, and they do it very, very well. Recently received an accreditation, the first in the state for the multi-jurisdiction, multi-discipline regional communication center. So I'm very proud of them.
I think that happened while the host of the Bob Show was on City Council.
It just last year.
Okay, this whole thing was just last year.
Yes, but I believe Prescott Regional came into effect when you were on the council.
Yeah,
so we just celebrated 20
kinda,
years as Prescott Regional Communication Center.
And it was a big thing,
it was
because
huge.
everybody was talking to everybody else,
Yes,
but not together.
absolutely.
Kind of a thing. That brings me to a question I was going to ask that I didn't even write down.
Oh,
the cooperation of the different law enforcement people in the county. Talk to us a little bit about that.
well, I think it's something that not necessarily unique to Yavapai County, but something that is very, very special about Yavapai County. We all know that none of us can do it alone. We don't have all the resources. We certainly don't have the staffing to do it alone. And so the result of that is a very cohesive, very collaborative law enforcement and public safety, really police and fire team here in Yavapai County. We meet on a regular basis as police chiefs and the sheriff. Once a month we meet together. We support each other in different aspects. If Prescott Valley has a huge event and they need our support, there's no questions asked. We go help. Likewise, when there's big events in our city, we get support from all over our county. And it's just that relationship, knowing you could pick up the phone. And if we don't have a resource, but we know, Chino Valley might have one, Chino Valley, again, steps in and helps us out, and we just reciprocate that. And that's important. That means that we're sharing resources, we're making, efficiencies where we can make efficiencies, and really giving the best that we can for our communities.
And now that I'm thinking about it, the police chief out in Prescott Valley is a longtime resident of the area too.
He
came
is.
and went, but I worked with his mom, and I knew Tom.
Yeah.
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 His
Chief
dad.
Ticer is back. He was with DPS for many years, but he started at Prescott Police Department.
Yeah,
So
okay,
I
yeah,
really
yeah,
like to talk about that. But then he went to Arizona Department of Public Safety and was there for many, many years before he went to Colorado and served as a police chief in 2 different agencies in Colorado, and then saw this opportunity to come back home and has been with Prescott Valley for I think about 3 years now.
It's been
Almost
a while,
3 years.
yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I think we interviewed him on the Bob Show.
I'm sure you did.
Some while ago, and it's such a delight that it's just like Mark here. There are certain things in our community, no matter how we grow, and no matter how disconnected sometimes we feel, there are certain reminders that come back that say, you know what, we're still Prescott, Arizona. We're still Prescott Valley, Arizona. We're still who we were back when you were growing up.
Yes.
To some degree.
Yeah. Yeah, the changes are interesting. It's just, I think, as you said, we focus on what is important to us as a community, and continue to hold that special and sacred. And Prescott's going to grow. There's no doubt about it. It's a beautiful place, but we focus, like I said, on those important aspects, and we're going to be okay.
Okay, that I was going to hold this off, but I'm going to ask it right now.
Okay.
What one thing do you like the most and dislike the most as our community has been growing, either on a personal level or as the police chief?
Oh,
I know it's a
gosh.
toughie question. I don't mean to set you up here, but
so I struggle a little bit because I was born here and raised here, right? I mean, I think to a greater degree than a lot of people, I really know the inner workings of our community and really the history of a lot of things in our community. And so sometimes it's challenging to hear people who say, well, where I came from, this is how we did it. And that's valuable, right? Because we have to have open minds and open hearts to things that are different.
Yes.
But also we have to put that into context of what we know works here. So that's just kind of a challenge, but also an opportunity. The traffic is a big thing for me too. I recognize I travel to the valley a lot, and different big cities a lot, and the traffic here is greater than it was before, but it is nothing like we see in the huge cities.
No,
So
of course not.
just continuing to focus people on just taking it easy, driving friendly, and
Take
taking
deep
a breath.
breaths.
Yeah, and it's hard. It's hard sometimes, but yeah, driving responsibly and respectfully.
Now, one of the things you left out of your bio was this. Excuse me. Your personal things like being in the Kiwanis Club
Yes.
and stuff like this in the community. And
Yeah.
I want you to talk to the. I love the Kiwanis Club. They are active. They do things. Kayla's hand out by the
Pioneer
in the
Park.
Pioneer
Yeah.
Park. Those kinds of things just inspire a good feeling
Yeah.
in our community, and the Kiwanis Club's always there. I've got to back up and tell you real quickly. Back in the early '80s, yours truly had this idea to have the top 2 sixth grade basketball teams, the sixth graders, go down to Phoenix
Okay.
and play a game on the Phoenix Suns floor.
Oh, fun.
Okay, use the scoreboard and everything. I got to actually work the scoreboard. This is hours
Yeah.
before the game, and then we would go have something to eat, and then we'd come back and we'd watch a game. And we'd all come home.
That's awesome.
Well, I did it 3 years, and then everybody decided that it was getting too competitive, and the principals were nervous about it. Anyway, which I was not happy about. But anyway, I think it was the second and the third year. Guess who helped helped put the money together to do it?
The Kiwanis
The
Club.
Kiwanis
Yes.
Club. And I've never forgotten
Oh,
about
I
it.
love
And
hearing
I
that.
didn't even ask them.
Yeah.
They just offered.
Yeah.
And what a nice thing to do. And you're still doing all those things now. And
Yeah.
you were past president.
I am.
Immediate past president.
I was. Well, no, it's been a couple years now since
Okay.
I was president, but yeah, I still serve on the board of directors for the club and also on the foundation, and it is just an amazing organization. We just celebrated last year our 100th year as an organization here in Prescott,
Oh, wow.
and a very historic, very engaged, very civic-minded organization with a ton of fellowship. And I just love it. And I encourage anybody that wants to do things to make our community better to join a civic organization. Of course, I'm partial to my
Of course.
Kiwanis Club of
course,
Prescott,
sure.
but we do focus on all things youth and child related. So you'll see things like the scoreboards at different schools. I think our scoreboard at Granite Mountain Middle School. We've got the basketball court and the scoreboards at the Prescott Armory, Kayla's Hands Playgrounds. We've got the amphitheater at the Highland Center. You name it, new band uniforms, new band lockers, different schools. You name it, we do it, and we love doing it. So
Yeah.
definitely an outreach that we're all very, very proud of, and we would love to have new members.
Super.
I'm putting in
Good
that
to-
plug
yeah,
since I
good
have
to hear.
this
Yeah,
opportunity.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you did. Okay, it's time we take a break. Before we go, area code 928-541-1016. If you want to call in and ask the chief a question, and stick with us because we're going to get into some of the departments over at the police department here in just a minute. So stick with us. We'll be right back. And thank you for sticking with us here on the Bob Show. I'm Bob Recker, your host, and we're talking to Prescott Police Chief Amy Bonney. And we've been talking a little bit about this, that, and the next thing in the first segment, but I want to get down to some of the things that I made notes of that go on over at the police department that I want to just go through some of them and have you explain to the community what really goes on in there. For example, bicycle patrol.
Yeah.
Tell us about the bicycle patrol, where they operate.
So they operate out of our main headquarters downtown, and that's one of the bureaus that we're working on growing with the 478 money. So Prop 478 passed last year, as you know, and we're very, very thankful for that. And so part of that proposition was the enhanced staffing of our police department, and so working on growing not only our patrol bureau but also our other special bureaus, which is community services, which is where our bike officers operate out of. And they really focus on downtown areas, quality of life things, dealing with littering, loud cars, traffic safety issues downtown, dealing with anything that comes as a result of having a very, very busy and vibrant downtown area.
Well, the
and
plaza
making sure it's
downtown
safe.
is
Absolutely.
so important to our community. So
Yep. So they focus on those kinds of things, and sometimes if there are problem areas that we want them to address, they'll get in their cars and go kind of deal with those situations elsewhere. But primarily, they're focused on downtown.
One of the things I wrote down was the dispatch center, which you've already talked about. Did we talk about that on the air or before the show?
We talked about it on air.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, no, we did.
I think we did, yeah. And how important that is, because everybody's communicating with everybody else now, and so everybody knows what's going on. That's a big deal. Animal control.
Yeah.
How much time do we spend on animal control and those issues?
So we have 2 full-time animal control officers, and they are very busy. So I anticipate in the next couple of years we'll probably ask for a 3rd animal control officer, so just make sure that we're covering all of our bases. But they are awesome. So we, like I said, 2 full-time, and they wrangle every kind of creature you could possibly imagine. I always try to make sure to stop by their office every day because you never know. I have had everything from baby javelinas to snakes. They have had, like I said, you name it, tortoises, groundhogs, cats, dogs,
skunks.
Yes. Everything. Raccoons, birds. Birds. Like parrots. Some parrots. One time there was a peacock. If there's an animal out there that can survive in Arizona, we have dealt with it. And they deal with it very, very professionally, very well, on top of all the other things they manage, like dogs at large, aggressive dogs, those kinds of things. So they're busy. Yeah. I just love them. And they always know if they have something like really cute that they know people want to see, they're very good about bringing it around the station.
Sure.
Porcupine. What's the old, not a groundhog. Hedgehog. We had a hedgehog a couple of weeks ago. I thought I might want one as a pet at one point in my life. I definitely do not.
We have chipmunks around our house these days, and men are quick.
Yeah,
they
are.
Yeah. Now, do you feel like you have the proper staffing? Are we good? Do we need more? Where are we with that?
Well, part of 478 was to get us up to proper staffing for today.
Right.
And so in last fiscal year, we were afforded some additional positions, and then this fiscal year, we were afforded some additional positions. But the really key thing with sworn police officer positions to remember is this, that it takes a year from the point of time that we hire somebody to the time that they're out as a solo police officer. So right now we have 7 recruits in our police training academy, and they will graduate in December, and then I anticipate that they will be solo status probably sometime around April or May. So that's exactly a year because they started the academy in July. And so really those numbers don't start to move the needle on our staffing until this time, well, let's say this next summer is when we're really going to see the impact of 478. But the other thing that we focus on, and we have an amazing training and recruiting officer right now. His name's Sean Hilton, and he is there doing everything he can.
Sean's been on the show many times.
Has he? He's doing a fantastic job because he understands that we have positions that we want to fill, but we want to fill them with the right people, and that's most important to us. We understand, and I understand, and really drive home the fact that we could we could fill those positions pretty easily, but I don't just want a beating heart in the seat. I want somebody that will put on our uniform with pride and that will represent our profession and our organization with professionalism and compassion. And so we can train people to do a lot of things. I can't train them to be a good human. So we hire for character and then we train them.
Yep.
And Sean's very in tune with that. And getting us people into those positions is a critical need right now, but we're doing it very strategically. So in addition to the new hires where we put them through the academy, we also focus a lot on lateral police officers, and that means police officers who have already been trained and obtained their certification from another agency, usually in Arizona, and they come to us and we put them on the street. So we've recently hired 3 police officers from Page, Arizona. We have an officer from Scottsdale that's coming on board shortly. Another one from, oh my gosh, I want to say, I'm going to get it wrong. It's not Pine Top. Somewhere, Payson.
Payson.
I was close. I was thinking of trees.
How about are we competitive salary-wise?
Regionally, yes.
Okay.
Regionally, we are. We're working on that, and our HR department and our city management is very, very supportive of making sure that we stay competitive. And of course, there's always things we can do to change that and push that forward. And they're very open to us being creative with that.
Super.
As best as we can.
Before the break, we got about a minute and a half. Real quick, Citizens Academy, the Citizens program you offer.
Yeah.
Give us the
I love it.
thumbnail of that.
We just graduated our fall academy class. So a Citizen Academy for the police department is 6 weeks long. They come to us one night a week, and we get to deep dive into all the inner workings of the police department.
And if you're listening to this program, how would you get involved?
You would look at our website, and you would contact Callie Hill, who is our community outreach coordinator at the police department. Watch social media for the next openings that we have, and join us in our spring class if we have room.
Okay. Folks, if you've ever thought about doing something to learn more about what's going on in our community, this thing is perfect.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
And it's fun.
Yeah.
And you'll learn
It's
a lot about what we're talking about real quick here today.
Absolutely.
In more in depth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Join us.
I think it's fun. Prescott Valley's doing the same thing, right?
Prescott Valley does it. I know Fire does it. Prescott Fire does it.
Okay.
I'm not sure if CAFMA does one. I think they might, but yeah, it's a great opportunity. And then the city does one overall where you get to spend 1 week at each of the city departments, which is really cool too.
Yeah, that's very folks. If you live here, we want you to be involved. We want you to find out the heartbeat of our community and join us.
Yeah.
All right, we got about 15 seconds before the hard break at the bottom of the hour. Phone number here is area code 928-541-1016. Stick with us. We got a lot more to talk about it right after the break, so we'll be right back. we're back here on the Bob Show. Bob Recker, your host here on the Bob Show, and we're talking to Chief Amy Bonney, Prescott Police Chief Amy Bonney, and we've covered a bunch of things, and we're going to get right back into some of it. One of the notes I've got here is investigations. Now, talk to us about.
That's a broad thing.
I know. Talk to us about. I mean, we do have that. We have when we talk about a smaller community's police department. We're talking about a police department that offers full service, what I'd call full service, for people that know these kinds of things so that we can get to the bottom of things locally, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, talk to
We
us.
have a fantastic investigations section that operates under our Special Operations Bureau, which is led by Lieutenant Jason Small. So if any of you know Jason, he is tenacious, and he is dogged in his approach to the way that we address crime and criminal investigations in our community. So we have, like you said, a fully capable, functional criminal investigations bureau and team, and they investigate everything from frauds to sexual assaults to homicides when they happen in our community. We also have a crime scene investigator. We have people who are trained up in computer forensics, so they can get into people's phones and tablets and computers and those kinds of things if we need to. We have people that are focused on or have training to respond and investigate arsons. We do that in cooperation with our fire department. But absolutely, they are incredibly talented at what they do. They're incredibly well trained. We are incredibly well equipped to respond to crime, and they will hold people accountable, and they dig deep and they dig fast and hard to get to the bottom of things that happen.
That's fantastic, and it just makes you feel comfortable if you live in the community.
Yes.
that there are people out there.
Yep, they are. But I would say this, it's also one of the things that we're seeing and on the rise. And since I have this platform again, just to remind people that what we see on the rise in our community is really fraud. And so we're seeing frauds take hold because of the internet and because of things people are seeing on the internet and scams that are coming across people's phones and people's emails. And people are falling victim to that on a pretty high rate that's alarming. And so we're really trying to educate people about how to get in front of that and not become a victim of fraud.
And that's been an issue for quite a while in our community. So let's back up a minute, and I want to talk more about that.
Okay.
If you're suspicious that something's happened, that you're a victim of fraud, what do you do? Where do you go locally for that? What do you do?
So if you think that a call, a text, an email, a website or something is fraudulent, don't respond to it. Contact the police department or contact your bank directly. Your bank is never going to call you and ask for your PIN number and your account number. They're never going to send you a text saying that APS isn't going to send you a text saying pay your bill through this direct link using gift cards, right? If it seems weird, it is weird. You can contact us and we can verify whether or not it is in fact a communication from a legitimate company. But please don't rush to the bank. If it's a utility, they're not going to shut off your power in half an hour if you don't send them gift cards. You didn't win the lottery. We see this one. This is a pretty frequent one. You won the lottery, and you need to, in order to pay for the taxes to get the lottery winnings out of, let's say, Australia, you have to pay $17,000 to cover the transfer fees between your bank. Sure. And by the time you get excited, you think you won $50 million, and then you pay $17,000. That $17,000 is gone, and that $50 million is not magically going to appear in your bank account. It's right. Just not.
Now, so if they call the police department, they call the main number.
They can call our non-emergency line, absolutely,
and just ask and say, I think I've got a fraudulent situation going
absolutely.
On, and then the person will put them in the right place.
Yes, and our dispatchers will tell them, no, that sounds like it's suspicious. Please don't do anything. We'll have an officer contact them. And
that's fantastic.
The challenge is that once the funds leave our country, they are very, very, very challenging to get back. We see a lot of them happening in Bitcoin now. People go to Bitcoin machines, and once those funds electronically leave our country, it's really, really hard to get that money back for people. And we're seeing people lose hundreds of thousands of dollars to these scams, and it's maddening.
Well, it just makes me nervous just thinking about it.
Yes, it's scary.
Okay, hey, we got a caller.
All right.
All right, let's put our ears on, and let's talk to Bud on line 1. Bud, are you there?
Yes, I am, sir. How are you?
I'm fine. Good. You have a question for the chief?
Yes, I do. Chief, I was wondering about the ICE issues. Do we have any of those here? And I'm sure we coordinate with Prescott Valley Sheriff's Department and Prescott PD if we had any issues.
So we haven't been directly contacted by them. I do know that they are working fervently in our state and in other areas of our country. And I'll tell you that our position as a police department is that we coordinate and cooperate with any law enforcement agency that needs our help. So we haven't been asked for help. They're pretty self-sufficient, and so that's our status right now.
Hey,
Yeah, so we're not going to compete against them or tell them they can't do their job if they have to come here to Prescott Valley. That's
Correct.
the main thing. I'm glad we're not doing.
yeah. Hey, Bud, you made me think about something. I don't know if you can talk about this or not, but Colt's Barbecue place
Sure.
Yes.
was raided, or however you'd call
Right.
that. Who was
Right.
that? What was that?
That was a Homeland Security investigation that they had been working for some time. So it's not our investigation. We did help secure some of the scenes for them, but pretty much it was just that. It was just coordinating with them.
So I think we can rest assured that we're not going to be fighting with ICE if an issue comes along.
Awesome. But our Colts up here is still open, right?
No,
No.
Yeah,
And
I
I
think-
think the one in Cottonwood, because we were there, and that one's closed up too.
correct.
So
I did just
Okay.
see something come through. I think it's going to be reopened, but I'm not sure when or what. It's not
Yeah.
going to be under that name, as far as I understand.
okay.
All right,
And
thanks,
Chief,
Bud.
Chief, I talked to you one time at the square. My grandson's a security policeman in the military.
Mhm.
He's getting out, and you told me to have him contact you if he wants to be a policeman.
Yes, that offer still stands.
All right. And Bob's my good buddy,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you know, he's okay. All right. Thanks,
Thanks,
Chief.
Bud.
You're
All right.
welcome. Thanks
Bye.
for
Okay,
calling.
bye. All right, we got to take a break, so stick with us. We got more to talk about. We'll be right back. And we're back here on the Bob Show. We're still talking to Prescott Police Chief Amy Bonney. And Amy, one of the things that I was going to ask you is, what are you hearing about most these days?
All right. Well, I'm really glad you asked that question because so here's what I say, right? As a police chief, in my biggest charge is to protect our community and to protect and equip my people and to serve the men and women of the Prescott Police Department. And so when I am out in the community, when I have things like Citizen Academy, I listen to what people are saying to me, and thank goodness, because of the amazing work that my people do. I don't hear a lot from people who say they don't feel safe in their homes, they don't feel safe downtown, and that's a big measure, right?
it's huge.
Of feeling, right? You feel safe in our community, and that's really, really important. What I do hear a lot about is traffic, and if I had to list the things that would really freak me out as a police chief, traffic, is traffic to me. If that's what we're the most concerned about, that means we're doing pretty good. But it also gives us a really firm target of things that people think is important and people feel like is impacting their quality of life. And so I talked earlier about building the strength and numbers of our community services team. We're also building strength in our traffic safety enforcement section. And that's important because we hear about speed, aggressive driving, red light running, those kinds of things. We also hear about loud and obnoxious cars, right? So we're focusing a lot on those things. They're quality of life issues,
Good.
but we understand it's irritating, right? And so,
Yes,
one of
yes.
the things I really want to stress with our community is if you're having a problem with that, we appreciate it when you tell us that you're having a problem with that. But what really helps us is if you can call us and tell us that it happens every morning at 8 o'clock. Right? Calling us 2 hours after and saying there was a car that drove by that was really loud, we really can't act on that. And I want to take action on things, and have a result for people that they can say, yes, this is something that was bothering me, and the police department was able to address it. So we're actually doing a social media campaign about that coming up soon. We're going to do a community meeting about that to really help educate people about what we need in order to be effective with that. And then we're going to continue to we've done details downtown because we know that we've heard complaints from people who say they can't enjoy downtown because of these things. So continuing to do those details with both the loud cars, but also the speeding and aggressive driving that we're seeing, along with the impaired driving that really creates a danger in our community.
I saw something just a couple of days ago about 40% of the fatality issues on the highways these days. There's THC in the people's.
Yeah. I mean,
system.
we knew one of my favorite leaders in the law enforcement community is Gordon Graham. His name's Gordon Graham. And Gordon Graham he's a risk manager and a lawyer at his foundation. And he teaches if it's predictable, it's preventable. And so we could have predicted based on what other states saw when they ruled that marijuana was going to be legal. They saw a dramatic increase in impaired driving cases and DUI or marijuana-related DUIs. And we're seeing the same thing. And, the will of the people is what was expressed during the vote. And, but yeah, that's the result of what we're of that.
We had the Bob Show talked to Sheila Polk on a number of occasions about this issue. Me too. And I always ask her, I says, if you're right. So if it's so safe, how come I can't go to Walmart and buy it?
Right. Well, because it's still not legal federally, and that's important as well.
Yeah, okay, well, maybe that's the reason.
But yeah, there's that.
Special operations.
Yes.
Do you have? Do things come up where you concentrate on a particular thing for a period of, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but kind of what I'm getting
special
at?
details.
Okay.
Yes, we do. So we do that for everything from red light running to DUI to speed, loud cars. We've done several loud vehicle enforcement details.
So if you saw
safety in the parks,
if you saw something going on, safety in the park. If you saw something going on, for example, I often think about Judge Keebler back in the day and how he was focused on gangs.
Yes.
And in our communities. And for those of you who don't know, he was a Superior Court judge here for a long period of time. Everybody liked him, and he threw me out of his court one time because you can't be here, that kind of thing. I love the guy. But anyway, would that be an example of something? Because I don't hear much about gangs in our communities, and I know there's got to be an issue out there. And what are we doing? How are we handling that situation?
So we partner with Arizona has a gang intelligence task force, and if we run across somebody who we believe might be gang affiliated, we fill out a contact form for them. That form goes to, it's a card that goes to the Arizona Get 'em, which is a gang intelligence task force, and then they start working those people. And we don't tolerate that kind of behavior. We don't tolerate gang related crimes in our community, and what we see as a result of that, right? We don't seem to have visible. Of course, we know they're out there, and we would be naive to say that they're not. We know that we have outlaw motorcycle gangs that operate within our communities, and so we do partner and cooperate locally with task force that address that as well.
So you just kind of keep the antenna out. So when
Yes,
you hear
and
things,
we
you try to.
continue to gather intelligence for them as well, and if they're committing crimes, we hold them accountable and continue to enforce it that way.
Okay, one little quick note about homeless. We have homeless around, and
We do.
we deal with them in various ways to try to keep them from getting themselves in trouble.
Correct.
Kind of, and
Yeah, so I mean, our primary focus is to make sure that they're aware of and plugged into as many resources as we can. Yavapai County is tremendously rich in resources and organizations that want to help people that are less fortunate, that are unsheltered, and that have, whether it's substance abuse issues or mental health issues. There's a tremendous array of resources that are available to people. And so our first line is to try to get them plugged into those resources so that they get the help they need. If they choose to not take advantage of those resources and continue to violate our city code or state law, we hold them accountable, whether it's through citation or through arrest. Again, that's one of those things. We want people to be able to enjoy our parks. We want people to be able to enjoy the outdoor spaces that we have, and so
not feel
nervous.
and,
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course. Okay, one final break. All right, let's take it. We'll be right back. I want to talk about some specific issues that you'll be interested in, so stick with us. We'll be right back. And we're back here on the Bob Show. We're talking to Prescott Police Chief Amy Bonney, and we got a caller on line one. So let's go right to line one. Gary, are you there?
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yes, sir. You have a question for the chief.
Yeah, I have a quick question for the chief. By the way, I was a highway patrolman in California for 30 years, and I knew Gordon Graham. One of the best lecturers I'd ever had.
Isn't he cool?
DRE class that I took.
Yes. He's just
like
so
40 years ago.
wise. He's so wise.
He is wild. He was a handle.
Yeah.
Great lecture. But my question is, it seems like in the last year, panhandling's way down. Was there an ordinance passed that people couldn't panhandle if they were around traffic?
Yes.
It was kind of a problem that running out of traffic, trying to get money and stuff. I just wondered. I heard that there was an ordinance in the city
Yes.
that you can't panhandle if it inhibits the flow of traffic or around traffic.
Exactly that. And then, so in coordination with that, we also put signs indicating that ordinance at the key places where we tended to see people doing that. It doesn't prohibit people, and I wish I had the ordinance with me, but it's within like a certain distance of stores, a certain distance of banks and intersections, and they can't impede traffic. So that means like you can't necessarily stop at an intersection and panhandle and have somebody, hand money out the window. Does it still happen? Yes, but I agree. It has been greatly decreased because of that ordinance. It's been tremendously helpful.
Yeah, I because of my background, I happen to notice those things, and those guys running around the traffic lane, and
Yes.
and I think that's fantastic. What a great idea, and hopefully those people can get directed, to resources that they need. But it's a hazard around traffic, and I'm glad they passed that ordinance.
Agreed. I agree.
Yeah, hey, you got time to volunteer, Gary?
No, I'm kind of busy right now. I've been retired for 15 years.
Well, we really appreciate you listening to this show.
Yeah, I like your show. It's great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gary.
Take care. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, I thought I'd give it a shot,
Yeah.
right?
And I love that too. The problem here is it Drew back there that's running this thing? Who do we?
No, it's Scotty.
Scotty. Okay, so here it just shows up on the screen. It has a question.
Yeah.
That's dangerous, Scotty. Like it could be anything. You could need to.
We take our chances
Yeah.
here on the Pop Show. Hey, one of the things I made a note of, it's kind of silly, but records and property evidence, those kinds of things. When you think of the police department, you have all those functions in
Absolutely.
in our police department
We
too.
do.
So the if you collect evidence, you have it all categorized,
Absolutely.
and all those things get.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we focused on, again, going back to Prop 478, is the building of a new property and evidence facility.
Oh, okay.
And because we were just running out of space, things have changed, laws have changed regarding property retention and how long we have to retain things for. And so, yeah, that's part of our first initial push, and we're actually going to council next week to ask them to approve land purchase and also approve a design contract to begin building that brand new building. It's very exciting.
Well, good. Make them vote on it and have them say yes before they spend their money on something else.
They're very supportive, so I'm optimistic.
I know. That's good to hear.
Yes.
Okay. We've got, I don't know, about 3 minutes left.
3
I want
minutes.
to talk about the Pink Patch
Project.
program.
Yeah. So we started Pink Patch program about 7 years ago now. It's been a while. It started because we had two wives of two of our police officer family members get diagnosed with breast cancer within like 6 months of each other. And so we started researching what we could do. There's actually a Pink Patch program started out of California, and it's kind of spread nationwide. But we have created a different patch each year.
Yep.
The first year, the money that was raised was split between those two families that needed support that year. But every year since then, the money that we have raised in partnership with our Prescott Police Foundation has been donated directly to the Dignity Health Breast Care Center. Right now, it's the Baskin Breast Care Center at YRMC. And we have been tremendously successful. And this year, I think our project coordinator, whose name is Callie Hill, she is a tremendous asset. She's got an amazing mind and amazing talent, created the coolest patch we have had. It is a cowgirl against Thumb Butte.
Did
and
she come up with that?
She did. We learned,
wow.
several other agencies were doing some really creative stuff, so I said, Callie, you can do whatever you want. And she did, and it's beautiful, and it depicts a cowgirl, and it says, fight like a cowgirl, and no one rides alone. And so we've got some really great T-shirts. We've got our patches, and so you'll see those patches out on some of our police officers, but also at our Pink Patch events that we have throughout the community throughout the month of October. And our goal is to raise at least $10,000 for our breast care center, but I think we're going to beat that goal this year.
Oh, wow.
So we encourage you, check out our Facebook page, check out our Instagram, and come visit us at one of those events or stop by our police department and buy one of our patches.
Absolutely. I'm going to get a piece of paper and a pencil or a pen out there, folks, because I happen to have Kaylee Hill's extension number right
Oh
here
boy,
in
yes,
front of me.
let's blast it out.
Yep, you
Callie,
ready?
get ready.
Okay, get ready. Yeah. The phone number, you dial 777-1900. That's the main dispatch, the main phone number at the Prescott Police Department. And then when you get that, you ask for extension 5611, and you'll get Kaylee.
Yep.
And most of the time she's probably there.
She is.
If not, leave a message or whatever, and coordinate getting some of these patches, because some of us collect them, and they're really kind of fun to do, and just the money goes straight from your pocket to where it's supposed to go, and there's no middle people, there's nothing going on, there's nobody taking something off the top or any of those other things other than the cost of just making the patches.
Correct.
So,
Yep.
it's a wonderful thing to do, and it's so easy. Just it doesn't take any effort.
Yep.
To,
And so we have people, like I said, we've been doing this for years, and so there are people that have complete collections out there, which is really cool, and we love to see it, and we appreciate the support, and it's a fun thing that we do each October.
Yeah, right, and the folks here at KYCA do that.
Yes.
We got a complete set here at
Yep.
KYCA, and we'll get the new patches.
Yeah.
And I'm all excited about it.
It's going to be a great addition. Yeah, they're very cool this year.
I have to get over there. Okay, anything else that you want to talk about, you want to hit on before we go? We've probably got about 2 minutes left.
Well, I will say, of course, we know that's October, which means that we're going to be leading
1 minute.
into
Okay.
our Shop with a Cop season. So we do that
Okay.
every year. Shop with a Cop this year is going to be on December 13th, I believe, and which is a Saturday. I hope that's the correct date.
Okay.
And so that's, of course, our time when we take nominations for that program are open. So if you want to check out our Facebook page or our website, it is Saturday the 13th. And
you'll run into good people like Mr. Mark McLean.
absolutely, who was a part of that program for many, many years.
yeah.
But we take children from around our community. It is a coordinated cooperative event with multiple other agencies from across this part of Yavapai County.
It's fun.
And it's so much fun.
It's become part of the fabric
Yep,
of our
this is going to be our 28th
communities.
annual Shop with a Cop
Yeah,
event, and we're looking
absolutely.
forward
We love
to
it.
supporting that. And if you want to make a donation, stop by our police department or give Callie a call.
Give
She will-
Callie a call.
she also
She'll be there.
coordinates that program.
She'll do everything to help you
Yes,
out.
she will.
Okay, well, thank you very much for coming in. It's been a really terrific show. We've got a lot of information on it. I feel good about it. And folks, thanks for watching and listening to The Bob Show. We'll see you next month.